morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let's Play, and I need to fix the audio. Sometimes it gets desynced, and I can hear it. Anyway, welcome back to Let's Play. I'm your host, Father Evans. Good to be with y'all today. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Good to see you, Arium Legend. Good to see you, Bad Rocks. Good to see you, Steps Here. Good to see you, Gale. Good to see you, Craig. And Arium Legend, congratulations. You have won the crown of Furstendom, the crown of Tron, because I have a thing to show off. Check it out. I built a Tron identity disc. You can't really see the color too well because my light is very bright. Let me turn. There we go. Now you can see the color. I can change this color too. Ooh, magic. Throw it? No. It will fall apart and break. It's 3D printed, and the top and bottom are not connected. It makes lightsaber noises. I don't know if you can hear that. It makes me happy to have this and to have it built. There is actually a harness as well. There's like a runner's harness with another ring with magnets that you can wear under your clothes, so you can actually like have this hanging off your back. It's so cool, and I'm so happy I finally figured out why it kept breaking. It's because I was wiring things backwards. It turns out if you take an LED disc, or not disc, but LED strip, and you wire positive to negative, negative to positive, bad things happen, and the poor controller burns out. LEDs are DC. Yes, I have learned this. I thought I was wiring it correctly. I was not. Let me turn my light back on. Wow, so bright. I have a hair horn. Anyway, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and it's Kingdom Hearts related because it's, you know, Tron is in 2 Kingdom Hearts. Anyway, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, let's dive back on in. It sucks all the light back into the LEDs. Yes, exactly. So last time, we got to the land of departure, which I guess is now the land of arrival, and we're looking for Ventus. And we rescued I can't talk. We rescued Aqua. Aha, there are the stairs. One, Although I don't think we're jambling on that today. I have gone live. Yay! Yep, still have a pulse. Fen, it's time to wake up.
Sorry it took so long.
I mean, he just took a 10-year
Fen,
nap. That sounds pretty nice.
Wake up. Open your eyes. Please. Why? Your heart never found its way home?
That was a neat trick. No wonder no one could find him.
Aaron, I.
Vanitas!
Why are you here?
Oh,
I don't think the chair worries about whether it's comfortable or not
but
when
surely
you have no
won't
heart.
begrudge me a moment with my brother.
He's so quick.
What?
So Venti Wenti wants to keep sleeping. What am I ever going to do with you?
Shut up!
The famous Kingdom Hearts line.
You better settle down there, master.
Why is it in quotes? She is a master.
Aqua, I'll handle him.
No. I'm ending this.
But you haven't recovered yet.
Sorry, but you've seen me too weak, too often. Now it's my turn to shine.
He doesn't recognize her authority. Okay.
Aqua!
Best decision they made here was letting you actually play as Aqua. That this isn't just a cutscene.
Destroy! You wish. Nope.
However, her shortcuts are all sorts of all over the place.
Nope. Nope. You wish.
Ow. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang.
Give it up.
Okay, he's about 2/3 down with his health. Oh dear. Time to keep down. I have 1 hit point. Let's go. Everything's fine.
You wish.
Your hatred of blocking. How am I doing? Oh, I love Kiraga.
You wish.
No, I shall not perish. I shall live, for I live in the light.
Give it up.
You, however. No Chivos for father? I get some. They're all just the you completed the chapter ones. Ahoy, Bree. Aqua, we thought we were ready for this. Like, we just beat him.
Aqua!
Sorry, you're too young to have a heart attack. Dive to the Heart looks so pretty in this one.
I have to wake up.
Yes. Tell me what to do.
The power of waking.
I can't. I still don't have it yet.
I mean, at this point, Sora has 4
You never
hearts,
lost
actually.
It. It sleeps. Until someone needs it. Call to it.
I am calling. With all my heart.
I am calling, but it keeps going to voicemail. Oof. And so when we peel away Sora's heart, what we find is actually Ventus's heart. Which raises the question, where's Sora's heart?
Thank you for always keeping me safe.
It's in the
Sora.
birds. Oh. You're trying to Ventus's heart like a parasitic life. No, it's not parasitic. He offered space for Ventus's heart to heal. Also, look, he did the thing, but now he doesn't get called master ever, even though he did the thing.
Aqua!
I mean, there's already a game that happens after this. Pretty spry for someone who just slept for 10 years.
Three guardians is more than I care to face. But now that my brother is awake, I'm just certain that he'll come to visit.
No, we played into their hand all along.
Aqua, are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine, Sora.
Huh? You're Sora?
Yep. Hey, Ventus.
But you have the hair of someone who's bad.
I get it. You were my second chance.
Well, really, your third.
Huh?
Call me Ven.
Good morning, Ven.
Good morning, Aqua.
Big fan of the diagrams. Listen here. Just because I have drawn the diagrams. I love video games. I love being able to play them.
At last we are all assembled. First, Sora, Riku, Donald, Goofy.
See, why
Mickey.
doesn't he go like,
I
"Hey,
cannot
congratulations,
thank you
you're
enough
Master
for
Sora
what
now."
You have done. And you, Aqua and Ventus, we are fortunate to have you back.
I think I'll have to, Gale.
Thanks. I only wish we could have returned to help sooner. We're grateful to all of you for rescuing us.
Thank you.
I feel bad for letting you guys down. We tried, but we still haven't found Terra.
Don't. He studied with Master Ericus, just like us. He's our responsibility.
Mickey told me that you saved me in the Realm of Darkness. I should have gone to help you right away. But I was too inexperienced. I'm sorry. I know that I let you down.
No, just the opposite.
Did you know Riku's a true Keyblade master now?
That's wonderful. Good for you.
But Sora needs work.
He literally did the thing.
Yeah,
He literally
Ryan.
did the thing.
I'm happy to see that you haven't changed one bit.
Huh?
Sora, you probably don't remember.
Um.
It's
Sora could use
okay.
better decision-making skills. Valid.
Ah, yes. Let us not forget our new Keyblade wielders. Lee, Kairi, you have made tremendous strides.
Hey there. And that's future Keyblade Master.
Kyrie.
There's only one person named Kyrie in the entire multiverse.
Incredible. It is you.
Huh? You know her?
When you and I first met in Radiant Garden, the Unversed tried to attack a little girl. Do you remember?
Oh gosh, that little girl was Kyrie?
I guess it must have worked. The spell that I cast on you.
Or is there so much amnesia?
Those days are hazy for me.
To be fair, for
But it
Sora,
sounds like I've been
Kyrie,
in
and
trouble without you. So thank you.
and Riku, they were like
Please.
4
You
when they
were
met these
really
people,
very
so
little.
you know.
Anyone would forget. Hazy memory or not.
This is all very touching, guys, but where do I fit in? Ven looks just like Roxas. Or is it Roxas looks just like Ven? And now I have to explain all of that to him, which is in itself a crazy long story. And apparently everybody already knows everyone, and this is an insane amount to get memorized.
Ah, he said his line.
Sorry, Lee.
You remember me?
Well, and also
Yeah,
someone
of
just said your
course.
name like 2
We're
minutes ago.
friends. I can't believe you became a Keyblade wielder just like me.
Oh, yeah.
Axel, you know Ven?
Axel? Who's Axel?
When did Axel become the meta one? He's always kind of been a little
See?
meta.
Major brain ache.
He's always kind of nodded and winked at camera.
Now who?
Not to worry, folks. To help us out, I've given each of you a gummy phone. They've got summaries of everything that's happened so far. That way, you can read up if you'd like. And if anyone has any questions, we can call each other.
How did Jiminy fit all
Always
those on his
prepared.
person?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got our
Don't
seven
worry,
guardians.
I'm always watching.
Yeah. But I do wish that Roxas and Naminé and Terra could be here with us too.
Since when do you mope, Sora? Come on. Terra's gotta be with the organization.
Huh?
Which means
Get
we'll
addicted
have
to
a
social
chance
media,
to
please.
save him.
I just invented
Leave
Mouse
it
Book.
to Ven and I. We'll bring him home.
Yeah. I made Terra a promise. I said I'd be there for him when he needs me.
I also have Mix,
And I'll
formerly known as
figure
Twitter.
Roxas out. Don't know how, but I'll get him back.
Naminé is right here safe with me. I know that we'll find a way to help her. Trust me. I'm not giving up.
Disney not having its own
Kylie's
social
right.
media is actually
We're
very
all in
shocking.
this
Oh, you
together,
should use
Sora.
the apps then.
And Donald and I are no Keyblade wielders, but we'll always be right there to help keep you steady. We got your back, not just now, but always.
We should want to start for expanded inventory.
That again.
It's a shame that all of our friends could not be here. but our 7 Guardians of Light have united. Perhaps you might say that we have 9 Guardians with Donald and Goofy. Given time, I know the others will soon stand with us.
Yeah.
A Barksinator?
Today
What?
you recuperate. On the morrow, you journey to the fated place.
Yeah.
No, sir. Our ship is called the Highwind, not the Morrow. I love watching movies.
The stars here
Where's my
are
popcorn?
so beautiful. I noticed it when we arrived.
Yes?
We've gone without this for so long.
I know.
I remember dreaming a lot. Of you and Terra. Of Sora and his friends too, I think. And there were some more people I didn't recognize. Oh, and I saw these weird animal creatures. It's like I've been part of some big adventure.
I've been places too. But pretty soon,
Mostly the Realm of
things
Darkness.
will be back to normal.
What's normal at this point?
Let's share stories when Terra's back.
I'd actually like a game about Yensid's origin as a Keyblade wielder.
Yeah.
Because he's a former master. In fact, he's the only character in the series that we know of who's renounced the title Master. Oh yeah, Maleficent's in this game, I guess. Technically.
I've had it with this stupid treasure hunt. Every box we found's been nothing but a bust.
I agree. Our search ends today.
What, huh, now?
You cannot find the unfindable. The box does not exist.
Well, that's not true.
I knew they was taking us for a ride.
Silence, imbecile. I mean the box does not exist now.
Huh?
Was that some kind of riddle? Just where are we supposed to be looking?
Light and darkness are fated to clash. A Keyblade war is upon us.
I don't know if it's a war
We
if it's
need
20
only
whole
wait
people.
for that destined moment. No matter the victors, the box will be revealed.
That's it? But when's my big moment?
You will
Villain
have
is
it
a
soon
stretch,
enough.
Hope.
Once I
He's working
possess
for a
the
bad guy.
box, our real work can begin.
Well, at least she didn't say, it's not where we look, but when we look. It would have been a little too... Even for Kingdom Hearts, that might have been too cheesy.
Well, Roxas, I should have been there for you by now, but here we are.
Shouldn't you say goodbye to your real home?
Does Lee remember? No, he doesn't. Sort of.
I'm not here to fight. Relax. Hey! You can't eat all this. Why did you buy 3 of them? 1 for Roxas? And 2 for good luck?
I don't know. Because I felt like it, okay? Why are you here?
See, he doesn't remember, but he does remember.
Got it memorized? Back when we were still friends, we used to sneak into the castle.
Yeah.
And we made a friend there, a girl. We apprenticed to Ansem the Wise to rescue her.
Yeah, and we failed. One day she was just gone.
Being cutscene gauntlet? Oh, yeah.
Gave up.
I did not give up. One
Are
day
you not in
we're
this game? Hey, I did actual gameplay
The
earlier.
next,
We had a
Ansem
boss fight and
Wise
everything.
Is up and vanished. The day after, we're nobodies. Day after that, we're doing icky jobs for Xemnas. I couldn't keep up with you.
Following Xehanort's nobody was the only way to discover what happened to her. She was his lab rat.
We still don't know who she is.
So, you found her? I helped you rise up the ranks, so I hope it paid off.
I'm afraid not. Nary a trace. I started to wonder if we'd imagined her. Maybe she never existed. And then, in time, I awakened to a new purpose.
Maybe Kingdom Hearts
I
18 will learn about her
realized I could be
probably.
stronger.
Once you
then,
finish all the
You
cutscenes.
blew it. Wise up already and just quit.
Face it, Roxas is just like our other friend.
No,
Gone
Roxas is very
forever.
different, but
You need to accept that.
You wish. I'm getting her back. All of them. Especially Roxas. I'm even dragging you home.
The marks under your eyes, they're gone.
Yeah. Don't need them.
Always told you they'd stop you from crying. The upside down tears.
Would you get lost? I'll clobber you tomorrow.
I expect no less.
Hope has redeemed a candy spoon. We'll redeem that as soon as we're out of cutscene gauntlet. Next month, then. Yeah, honestly. I think this is the worst stretch in the entire game of it. Hey, Elaine, thanks for the lurk.
How long have you known that I was with you? You did save me. I think you came along for a reason. I didn't make much of myself as a replica. I was a failure, and after you and Sora moved on, my body fell to ruin and the darkness took my broken mind. I was all ready to give up and let it happen. And then you showed up. You took that as a sign?
I don't know why he needs to be a character.
Maybe. I'd rather face my end with you than in darkness. That's what you want? Yeah. But I'm not done yet. Got one last thing to see through. Take the time you need.
Hey, Beer Fox, welcome to cutscenes.
Hey, why
We
is
had Riku
Riku
talking
all
to
alone?
Riku about fighting another Riku who's
He
possessed.
said he needed time
Darkness
to
possessed
himself.
version of second Riku.
Let's let him be.
Yeah. Do be like that.
Here.
What? Huh?
I think this is like 7 or 8 or 9. I lost count.
Tomorrow's fight will be our
Tomorrow won't be
toughest
alive
yet.
for 6. Wow, you're not wrong, but wow.
I want to be a part of your life no matter what. That's all.
Kairi, I'll keep you safe.
No, this one was very sweet.
Let me keep you safe.
Yeah. Foreshadowing and backshadowing. Has he actually kept her safe? Well, he rescued her in 1. And in 2.
Wow, look at all that
You voyage to a new zone. Okay, we have a candy spin to redeem. All right, for I think it was Hope. Candy spin today is Cardamom. I feel like we've had a lot of Cardamom Pastilles lately. I've never respin that. Huh. Candy. Huh? Yeah, from the Hawthorn Berry? It's a Chinese thing. There's a variety of Hawthorn candies. These are given to me by Britt. This one looks like it's like layers of graham cracker and not. Oh, it has a smell. That smells like jam and alcohol. Like, not mixed together, just like they're vaguely in the same space together. Why is that so dense? It's like molasses? That's the texture. Because it's kind of like shandy. Have I got an ultimate weapon? Nah, I probably won't either. Sanguinous salsa, yes. That has a weird aftertaste. I do not have any good ships. This will be interesting. Oh boy, three-dimensional maze with weird controls. I got lucky the first time I did this, and I just, like, accidentally found the fastest route. Gotta try the Turbo Spieliat. Yeah. Left or right, chat? Left or right? I'm gonna take the first direction I see. What a Utah-coded answer. Yeah, if I get all the lucky emblems, I can get Oathkeeper, but... Ow! Yeah, Turva is like, what was it? It was... It's licorice, because it's from the or from the Nordic countries. But it had... Oh, I can warp to a new location, apparently. I don't know what that location is. I think it was tar resin or something like that. Like pine tar as a flavor. It was an experience. I gave one to a friend and he just kind of made a sour face for an hour. Look at me being able to warp to all these locations that I still don't know what that means. Need to bring back lead-based candy? No? No. Lead is both sweet and low calorie. That's... a sentence. Please do not eat lead. I'm surprised I have to say that, but apparently. What do you mean low calories isn't necessarily healthy? The health people on my television would never lie to me, right? I don't think the whistle quite fits the ethos of what is happening here, but, you know. Lead was not sweet the last time I ate it. Drop a new flavor. There's a lot going on in that sentence, Renai, and I'm worried. I have heard it said, though, that water from wells or cisterns or aqueducts that have lead does taste sweeter. So... Fred Flintstone just smoked a pack of Marlboros and he went leading astray. There's a lot in that suitcase to unpack, but I'd rather just burn the whole thing. Correlation back then, lead was in everything. No. No. Kids can't write cursive because of a lack of lead is a new one, I will admit. But, no. I have a feeling Turva's going to be pretty antagonistic. Well, they sold vitamins and, you know, cigarettes were basically vitamins at one point. Yeah, it's the Keyblade Graveyard. It's pretty sad and depressing. Bring back smoking cartoons? No, let's not. Chat, are you okay? Did you take your vitamins today, chat? Goodbye, Gummy Ship. Well, I could go do gummy missions and things. I like the Gummy Ship in 3. My vitamins! Chat, take your vitamins. There's Secret Boss Gummy Ship. I'm not surprised.
It's time. The Keyblade Graveyard is up ahead.
I wonder what world this was before
Someone's
it became
coming.
the Keyblade Graveyard. Hey, it's you. You're the Danger Man.
Legend has it that darkness once covered the world.
No, K-Max. No.
We know so little about the Keyblade War, only that it was just the beginning. If ruin brings about creation, what then?
Sir, why is your
would
voice
another
not as great as it
Keyblade
used to
War
be?
bring? When the darkness falls, will we be found worthy of the precious light the legend speaks of?
Or will all of creation be instead returned to the shadows? Today we will recreate the legend and see.
Like the two voices were old, Xehanort, you mean?
First, your light shines far too brightly. It must be extinguished in order for the truth to be seen.
I would say we're at the final act. We're not at the final chapter.
Only when your hopes have been broken by battle upon battle can the
I don't
key
remember
be
what he sounds like in
claimed
Remind,
to
to be honest.
Kingdom Hearts.
And break you is what we shall do. It has been etched.
Oh, that's a lot of Heartless.
Okay, gang.
It's Christopher Lloyd in Remind. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll get to that because we'll be doing the Remind stuff. Giant AoE, giant AoE, just making a giant AoE. Dealing with all the Heartless, dealing with all the Heartless, and the Unversed, and the everything. Sir, I think you lost some animation frames there. Perfect time for it. So today we actually hear more. We hear what immediately follows yesterday's gospel in the Good Shepherd discourse from John. And the thing I am always reminded of, and Gale will probably remember this, is the time that Gale and I tried to wrangle a sheep out of our yard and back into our neighbors, and it did not go well. I use this as an image whenever this comes up to talk about the way that we know the voice of Christ and listen, and how we can listen to him and follow him. And PS3 cut of Cage 3. I don't know how far that got because of which engine they were using. Time to show off what a rendering engine can do to cross-advertise Dynasty Warriors. I'd play a Kingdom Hearts Dynasty Warriors. Churro summon with a Mickey pretzel. Well, wait until the end of this fight. We summon Walt's favorite toy, the train. Walt Disney was like obsessed with trains. He had one in his backyard that you could ride on. Sheep that won't listen to its shepherd's voice sounds like a goat. Well, I was not its shepherd. It was smart. It was like, you're not my shepherd. Top tier track. I mean, all the tracks are top tier. They're pretty good. Track addicts. We're talking about trains. No Disney character summons in the new game. Oh no, there are Disney summons in this game. I just always forget to use summons. Particular portion feels more like Dynasty Warriors game. Oh yeah. But I don't know. After the Battle of 1,000 Heartless, I think this is kind of a cool mechanical throwback and kind of a cool, hey, check out how far we've come technologically in rendering and creating this fight. Use a summon here. Yeah, I could. I don't know what any of them do, though. That they did fight. You're allowed that thought. I disagree, but because I think the fight of 1,000 Heartless gets pretty repetitive at a certain point, whereas this one does break it up between Heartless, Unversed, Nobodies, and like the different big ones. It's a message from mobs. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm gonna keep doing it my way. I never said I was good at these games. The more kind of original Kingdom Hearts. What, when Sora had a tail? Wow, Sub-Zero, be nice. I know you're being sarcastic. Tron summon. I mean, make as much sense as the other summons, I guess. I said, alternate universe where we get Tail Sora. Kingdom Hearts as popular. Ooh. No! Summons can't take all my MP. I'm busy using that for, Anyway, Mountain Coaster. Disney lawsuit summon. This segment is very satisfying. Pew 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 pew. Want to allow the message, but not the term. I think if you allow the term, it's a temporary thing. I think it's fine. I just am busy blowing up the Heartless. Train go burr. Donald, you're not supposed to stand on the seat. That'll get you ejected from the park. Learned glide. Why?
Everybody else has gone on ahead.
How did everyone else get around that? I don't have enough for glide. I'll remove an air slide. I don't need 3 of them. You probably have AP boost. I probably do. Knowing this game, I probably actually have a lot of things. I don't remember buying a Kupo coin, but that doesn't necessarily mean I didn't. Blizzaga. Don't have Kuraga yet. That's okay. Okay, so 1759 when we last saved. It's now 1848, so that's like 50 minutes, and we got to do 2 fights. Oh yeah, I love gameplay. Kingdom Hearts movie when? I mean, they've technically already made one. It's the Union Cross movie.
Is everybody okay?
Still need to watch that in Discord at some point.
Come on, let's go.
Terra!
Ven!
This is probably a bad idea.
Terra, we found you!
Terra, please say you're in there.
What gives, Aqua?
I know that you're not him.
Huh?
Now let our friend go!
He is their 13th.
He's been Norded!
Today is the day you all lose.
What?
Before you even face the 13.
Always.
Every last one of you will be torn heart from body. But fear not. The Keyblade will still be forged.
This whole game is a bit of a father joke.
We're not gonna lose to you.
And you know, we've been watching all these movies, and last night I was trying to watch a movie, but my cat... I don't actually have a cat, but for the sake of the joke, I have a cat. My cat kept hitting the remote and stopping the movie, and I was trying to figure out what's going on. It's like, well, apparently she really likes the pause button.
That's it!
Now we get to watch the rest of this cool scene. Oh, Keyblade, not X-Blade. Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. And how well you know your Greek. Donald, canonically the most powerful mage in all of Square Enix.
No! Donald! No!
Dang, Donald. Tell that to power up to keep pace with others. Goofy.
Ven!
This can't be real. Huh? Oh.
Chad, is
Pull
this
it
real? Is this
together,
real life or
Sora.
is it just fantasy?
We haven't lost them. They still have their hearts. But we have to protect them.
Right.
We stand together. Mickey, Kairi, Goofy, watch the others.
No! We should all get to safety while we still can!
It's too late for that.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It can't be. No.
I mean, she just spent 10 years in the Realm of Darkness.
Aqua!
She's having some flashbacks. This is a problem.
Sora! They're gone. Kairi, Donald, Goofy, the king,
And all the rest.
gone forever. What do we do? Without them, all my strength came from them. They gave me all of it. Alone, I'm worthless. We've lost. It's over.
Sora, you don't believe that. I know you don't.
Look, sorry, you still have Riku. Join him in the fight. This is so anime. It's Kingdom Hearts, of course it is. Hope maxing. We could all do with some hope maxing. And so, as foretold, darkness prevailed and light expired. The end. Yeah, it really ends on a sad note, actually. It's a very bold move to say there is no hope.
Checkmate. And so darkness prevails, and light expires. You need a new strategy.
My move, isn't it?
Huh?
It's not over.
No, you're just starting a new game. You're just cheating.
Come on. That's not fair. I know I had you.
He's not wrong.
You nearly did. But a game's no fun if you know where it's going. There's
Ericus.
more light than meets the eye. I told you.
This game feels fake and has no rules. Fun fact, you could buy a version of this game, and they warned you explicitly that it has no rules.
Some light comes from the past.
It's also like $500. Because it was all like marble and handcrafted. What's up, See-Through Sora?
Where am I?
This world is so cool. I think this has some really interesting storytelling, and just aesthetically, it's very interesting. The final world. Final. In case you haven't figured it out, Sora is dead.
Can't stay away now, can you?
So world is a screensaver.
Hello?
Okay, well for now. Hi, Chirithy. Okay, do I need to explain what Chirithy is?
The name's Chirithy, and this is the final world.
I'm Sora. What's the final world?
There's nothing else beyond this. You've wandered here more than once before on your visits to the Station of Awakening, but I let that slide. The edges of sleep and death touch, and one can't help the occasional crossover.
Wait, death?
Yes, the natural end for those whose hearts and bodies perish together. But some persist and arrive here.
My heart and body perished? Does that mean...
Something is holding you here, refusing to let you go. You're hanging by a thread.
What about my friends?
I'm afraid that no one else arrived with you. And if they're not here, they're either gone forever, or they're clinging to the world you came from.
I'm going back!
Whoa, whoa! How exactly? You can't just wander out like your other visits.
What?
I told you. The other times you came here by your own choice. This time is very different. To become your old self again and return to the real world, you'll have to piece yourself back together in this world first.
Ah! Why am I in pieces?
What? No, not literally, of course. You're conceptually in pieces. On the inside, who
Tora's
knows?
not good at
But
metaphor.
on the outside, you're just fine.
Oh, okay. You kind of freaked me out there.
Oh boy. Usually, only a heart can reach the final world. But since you've clearly managed to retain some kind of form, that can only mean your body was cast into this world as well.
Okay, so then if I can find my body, that means I'll be able to go back?
Precisely.
But also
there's
it's not
a lot
that
of
simple.
you to find. You're going to be busy.
Okay, so Chirithy... See, this is what I love about this world. It's very... It's very out there. Chirithy is a character that's introduced in the mobile game Union Cross Key. And in general, it's kind of unclear to me if Chirithy is like a specific or like a full species or like one just reappearing. Anyway, Chirithy is a companion that joins you on your journey and collects your, I think they call them star bits or something. That's what the little purse on their front is for. And that's basically like the currency in the game, or that helps you level up. But it's at one point revealed that Chirithy is actually a Dream Eater. So if you remember those from Dream Drop Distance. And Renai, you are absolutely right. Chirithy is a psychopomp. Chirithy by... There's also a Dark Chirithy. I don't know exactly what happens there. I forget. But by Chirithy's very nature of being a Dream Eater and in this liminal space of dreams and life and death, yeah, it serves as a psychopomp. Also, we have these souls. This is what a heart looks like in its purest form in Kingdom Hearts. A star. It's me. You're dark, Chirithy. Are you? You're not that dark.
Hello?
Good day.
Oh, cool! You can talk!
You look like a person. How is it that you retain your appearance? Are you special?
So the character's evil? No, Chirithy is not. There is a evil version of Chirithy.
I'm a little hazy
But
on the
Chirithy,
details.
in Chirithy's self, is
As are we all.
complicated.
So, whose heart are you?
No one's anymore. They took away my name. Everything about me.
No way! They couldn't have taken away your heart.
Only because it pines for another.
Yeah? Someone's coming for you?
I cannot be certain. He's been changed beyond recognition. His heart replaced with another's. But were he to regain his old self again, he would be distressed by my absence. So I choose to wait here, where he can find me.
I don't think that's
Good.
Aqua.
You have to believe.
Believe? Oh, you mean know in my heart he will return? Without any proof?
Exactly. Believe. I thought it was all over for me. But a friend of mine looked me in the eye and said, "You don't believe that."
I think the guy she's talking about in particular is Sykes or Issa. I think this is
So,
the girl.
Who did this to you? Heartless steal hearts. So, a nobody?
Somebody.
His name is Ansem the Wise.
Really? wish I could help. But my situation's no better.
You must see to the tasks before you first.
The tasks before me? There's so many.
All the more reason for you to make an effort.
Yeah, you're right. I just wish I knew what to do.
Here you are on the brink, and yet you hold on to who you are. You possess a strong sense of purpose, and in that purpose you will find direction.
Thank you. I'm really glad we met. You cheer me up. I hope that friend of yours finds you soon.
Thank you. Me too.
Oh, hey. If I see him...
Oh, it's
I'll tell him
original
that you're
Ansem the
here.
Wise.
What's his name? Huh?
Our secret.
There's like a whole scene earlier in this game where he's like, I must atone for what I did to those kids. The writings are from Seeker. Seeker did take over the experiments. Whoever said love and hate are two sides of the same coin is a liar. The second our eyes would meet, we were at each other's throats. Every time that the idea of us as friends is laughable. Finally on my own here. What a relief. Just not as big a relief as I thought. It's weird. Something's just missing. Ugh, is that how this works? I keep going back for another fight just so we could spend time together? Maybe it's not as simple as like or hate. Heart's a complex thing. Wonder if he feels this lonely too. Takes two to have a fight, after all. So the point of Kingdom Hearts is not to do science because you can. I mean, that's a lesson. It's an important lesson. We're always joined together, practically joined at the hip. We wear the same clothes, eat the same food, go to the same places. We're like an identical pair, like walking alongside a mirror. So why is it just me here now? There's this feeling calling to me, pulling at me. And now I share it, feeling as it is my own. We are always together. I have nothing left to teach you. I thought these words would make him happy. But it was sorrow that clouded his face. I shared all I know, my every technique. What more did he seek from me? I never heard the answer. Time passed on, and here we are. Now since we parted, I think I understand. You want the same thing I did. This wasn't just about passing on knowledge. It was a communion, a connecting of hearts. I think that might be in reference to the teacher of Ericus and Xehanort. Xehanort. I kept telling everyone we were just friends, but he crept into my head, into my heart. It started to feel weird being together. I stepped back and he never stepped in to close the distance. I wonder how he saw it. Wonder how he feels. What's this emotion filling me? It's overpowering. It's him. I have to respond. I have to tell him how I really feel.
These must be pieces of me.
Did it matter? Was I ever there at all? I thought I found my place, surrounded by people I trusted. But look there, I'm gone. They go on meeting just the same. The table's set wrong. There are too many glasses. Oh, a new member have they? That didn't take long. That was my seat. That was my place at the table. Their glasses clink against the newcomers, one after the next. Oh, this is not my place. Maybe it never was. That one feels almost like a failed organization member if we didn't know exactly who all the organization members were. I was defeated. That was supposed to be it. I'd just fade away. Yet a part of me remains. But why? I have no regrets, no reason to cling to this life. I turned these questions over in my head again and again and again and again, and I remember clash, the feeling of exhilaration, of pleasure. I can see his face clearly in my mind. He wore the same grin as mine. I'd dearly love to cross blades with him again. Probably someone from the Keyblade War. I think I've talked to everyone. So I'm gonna start collecting Soras. You love speculating. Yeah, I know, it's great. There's a lot of fascinating world building going on in this space.
Sora?
Yes?
It's me, Naminé.
Naminé?
I'm so glad that you managed to hold on to who you are.
Why are you here?
I was in Kairi's heart, but then we were struck by a powerful darkness, and I woke up here.
And Kairi?
I can feel her heart. She's
Someone
fighting with all her
connected to these who are
strength to
same
keep
one
you
as
from
Excellent Sykes?
fading
Probably,
away.
knowing Kingdom Hearts. They're all Xehanort somehow.
So the reason I retained my form in this place...
It's because she's holding you together. Go to her.
I'm trying, but what about you? I can't just leave you stuck here.
It's okay. Really. Kairi is where I came from. So when she's safe again, Kairi is where I'll return.
Naminé, I know that I'm supposed to thank you. The datascape doesn't count. I need to say the words myself. But not like this.
Why not like this?
You and Roxas can't tell me you're okay with this. I know how much you're hurting. I felt that pain through Roxas.
He's the one they all miss. It's not me.
Wrong. What about me? Kairi, Donald, Goofy, the King. Roxas too, he misses you. And someone else special I know won't let you down.
Father, I did not suffer today.
Thank you.
Well, then I'm
But
gonna
I
go
think I
save
fed-
Kairi.
y-
So
you
at
have
least
fed
you'll be
into it?
free of this place. Okay?
Oh, wait.
Huh?
While sifting through memories, I spoke to Terra, the Keyblade wielder you've been looking for. He has a strong will, and it keeps him tethered to the realm of light. I'll try tracing that connection. Maybe that'll be enough to tip the scales in the other direction.
Huh?
Let's just say I've got your back.
Naminé's
That
got...
part of you, it reminds me of Kairi. Thanks, Naminé.
Hey, Spooky.
Oh, that's not the official thank you.
Uh-huh.
Well, see ya.
Roxy thinks of herself every time she hears Roxas? Weird. I wonder why.
Be careful.
Where my Sora is at. Sora Collectathon. You really had next to nothing for Naminé in this game? Yeah, but also, did they need to have anything for Naminé? This is where the world gets interesting. And very trippy.
What a weird place.
You can't see it, but I need to collect 111 Soras.
I gotta put myself back together. There's no time to waste.
Well, no time like the present. Let's shift the world.
What's going on?
Quit dancing around. Sora literally puts himself back together after traumatic experience. I mean, Sora's just dealt different. Puts himself back together with zero comprehending what he's conceptually doing. Or even really why he's here in the first place. And this Sora is the left kidney. But I appreciate the game design of this space because it is so open. There is no... I mean, I'm sure there's a speedrun solution that's the fastest, of course. But, you know, it's this very surreal space. You're not timed. You're allowed to do it however you want. That's actually kind of different for a lot of games. We do love our stupidly optimistic boy. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. But look at that. Sora's more filled in. Speedrunners probably skip this. Kingdom Hearts speedruns are fascinating. Because it's mostly about how you keep your combo going in combat. And most of them are also doing, like, level 1 super hard runs, too. Because just doing it fast isn't hard enough. Look at all the Miis. They're like ants. Speedrun does not skip this section. See? However, I bet it is ludicrous to watch. Yeah, it is crazy what people do. And it's all, like, timing. You know, there's some physical stuff that you can do, especially in, like, 2, to get around quickly or to skip things. But for the most part, it's just... how good are you at just playing the combat of the game? Surprise! You have enough Soras. But guess again, now you need more Soras.
I see that you found them all.
Just the fluffiest of
Then
Cyclopomps.
isn't it time that you left?
Oh,
Jithi's like, get out of here.
What? I'm doing you a big favor here, you know. Don't push it.
Hey, Chirthy, you still look like you, right? Would you like me to help you find your pieces?
Oh, I don't work like that.
So, like, you're waiting for someone to rescue you?
Sort of?
But not really.
Well, tell me who.
Waiting for the
I'll
Lost
find 'em.
Masters of Unicross.
No. That's okay. He doesn't remember the past. Besides, I'm sure that he's much happier with his new friends. But I'll wait. He'll arrive here one day.
I mean, I guess.
I'll be back to visit you.
What?
You and me are friends now.
Oh, you could just barely see the Dream Eater logo on the back of
I've
Chirithy
missed
there,
having friends.
on the wide shot.
Well,
You need
see
another
you
Kingdom
around.
Hearts reference in the DLC?
And
No,
thanks.
it's the mobile game. Sora is just so genuine. That's what I like about him. Part of what I like about the series is that, you know, in a world of cynicism
Could I
and
get a hint how to save
dark
the
energy,
others?
Sora's just like positive,
Seriously?
genuine, kind-hearted.
Are you a Keyblade wielder, or aren't you? Haven't you already learned how to restore someone's heart after it's been lost?
Power of waking.
Restore their hearts. Is that the same thing as the power of waking?
I'm not sure, but give it a shot.
Yeah, Sora's mostly good at the fighting them thing.
This'll take all my heart.
It
Okay.
makes it genuine, kind people airheads. I mean, that is a problematic trope in and of itself, but he's Sora. He's always got to be that way, and I love him. Knowing is half the battle, the other is fighting.
Look for the light in the darkness.
Why not be the light in the darkness? Or bear the light in the darkness? Even better. Sora's allowed to be
May
an
your
airhead because he
heart be
wins.
your guiding key.
So I think Chirithy is waiting for Lushu. But we'll get to that eventually.
Sora, you don't believe that. I know you don't.
The Pair of Darkness is a black bear. Fair enough. It's not gaslighting, it's retconning. QTE, actually? Sora died, but then gets a chance at life again. I'm going to chalk this one up to a little bit of time travel, but it does have resurrectional tones.
Oh. Riku! Riku! Answer me!
Which is actually a recurring theme for Sora, apparently. Because it happens in 1 as well. Could you imagine being stuck in a loop of your final moment? Like that? That would, oh. Right. I forgot this portion.
This is Herc's world. Is Riku here?
No, you're being shown that you have more friends than just those who are on the battlefield, and that's what makes you strong.
There's nobody here.
Gee, I'm here.
Jiminy! You're okay!
Jiminy's like,
Well,
golly,
okay, might
that was
be
a weird
stretch,
experience.
But what are we waiting for? We need to find the others.
His friends are his power?
Right!
No. Wait. She's going to go all Zoltron. You mean Voltron? I don't know a Zoltron. Oh, he's there. Here's level up glitch. Nice.
Riku!
You're offended. He's a real cricket. Go talk to Walt Disney in the 1940s, I think, when that movie came out. Bad Grim Reaper. You are not a good Psychopomp. You are a theft. Yes, a theft. Not a thief. Also, wasn't the watery form meant to just be your heart? Like, a theft of joy. Indeed.
So long.
Neo Shadows look so good in this game because you can actually see the blue on them.
Back off. Forget the small fry. We gotta go after the one in charge.
Jiminy giving battle advice.
We'll never stop them all. Leave them, Sora. We gotta keep going.
I'm working on it, Jiminy. I'm gonna run out of time on this, so I will unleash the Kraken on these guys. Congratulations, you have been Krakened.
Hurry, Sora. We can't let them get away.
Tori, as you're conscious, I command you to throw hands. Get out of there, get out. Ah! Problem is, I would get stuck in the combo. No. Sir, stand still. We both know how this is going to end.
Here we go.
It's the battle of the pointed sticks.
Hey,
17
wait!
as the lance main. Yes.
There's no need to worry, Sora. He'll return to the place he fell, like you did. We gotta focus
Yeah,
on
but I didn't return to the
rescuing
place I
others.
fell. I returned
Okay.
to Olympus.
That scoundrel must have fled into one of those pools of shadow that are down below us.
Where do they lead?
Well, I think they might be portals to other worlds.
Okay, maybe that's where we'll find the others.
If we hurry.
We gotta dive to their hearts. So that's what this place is called. Dive to the heart. Aqua is in the world with all the water. But first, we're actually going to take a commercial break because it's that time. So don't go anywhere, but take a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, rotate your fluids, do what you need to do, and we will be back in about 3-ish minutes. And we are back. Also, speaking of awesome music, 'cause, hey, this game just has to have a lot of really good music. Yoko Shimomura did a great job. But the track of choice here, I forget its name, but it's used a lot in late game boss fights of dramatic moments. But it's this wonderfully somber, like I think this is used in End of the World in Kingdom Hearts 1. I don't know. I love it. But I am a sucker for big climactic boss fights where the music is not bombastic and over the top, but actually, you know, more mellow and subtle. Okay, you guys, oh my goodness, I can't hit any of the little guys. Rude, rude. Quit interrupting me. Thank you.
Hold still. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, who's
We ought
up
to search every
next?
portal the shadows control.
Ah, the French.
Blowacious, thank you for the resub. Ow. Get back here. Get back here. No. Ow. When did you have time to learn magical freezing powers? This is just cheating.
Here we go.
You know, I suppose if you wanted, you could just farm XP on all the little guys and get Sora to an insanely high level compared to Donald and Goofy, so have him return back. Just be like, hi, by the way. I do appreciate that they give you a save point in each one.
We ought to search every portal the shadows control.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I can only do one portal at a time, Jimmy. I mean, come on. Hyperbolic time chamber? Yeah, basically. Oh, hi, Donald. Donald's heart is in the Monsters, Inc. world. What is the game trying to tell us? But there is actually kind of a beautiful parallel here. I mean, obviously it's imperfect, but, you know, Sora is the first to go through this resurrection experience and then goes to save the others. There's something Christological about that, in the way that Christ is the firstborn of the dead. And you see this especially in iconography, where Christ is bringing, is rising out of the grave and bringing with him Adam and Eve. Okay, Rotata. Ventus was telling folks earlier about the time that Gale and I had to wrangle our neighbor's sheep back into his yard instead of ours. And it turns out sheep do actually know the voice of their shepherd, because today's gospel is carrying on basically where we left off. Well, actually exactly where we left off yesterday in John's gospel. And the great news is, in many ways, as followers of Christ, we know the voice of Christ. You know, we're not always the best at listening, and I'm certainly guilty of that too, but we do know his voice. What's easier to herd, people or sheep? Do the sheep know me as their shepherd or no? Because people... no, they're... Duplicates are always welcome, and I was...
For the ones wrapped in shadows.
There's a reason why the command goes off every time someone does it, and not only the first time someone does it. Oh, it's my heart! I don't know, having emceed enough ordinations, clergy can sometimes be the hardest people to shepherd. I'd like... That's what I'd like. Oh no! He's giving me a little rain cloud. This is not Winnie the Pooh world.
Try this.
No, that's just because teaching on the Trinity is not easy. Because it is both fundamental to our faith and also beyond our human grasp. Where did he go? I have never seen him wander this far away. There are many good reasons that Jesus calls us the children of God, for so we are. Which is loosely based on the baptismal liturgy. He's run away again. Sir, sir. Sir, you have a summons to be in court because of a traffic violation? You never paid the ticket? So, sir, there's now a warrant for your arrest? Sir, please just pay the fine.
Here we go.
These yard meant to make socks. You guys shall instead. with American Athlete's shoulder. That's a concerning thought. I hope not.
Hey, stop!
I think that was the last portal. Yep.
That's the last one. He must be hiding in there.
So now there's this one. 18. Going to San Francisco. Give back Axel's heart. Otherwise the fan base will come for you. They will rip you to shreds. No, Sora, wrong one. The auto-targeting is so good in this game.
Take this! So long! There!
Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
Here we go!
This fight is just obnoxious at this point. I'm so tired of his ghost forms! Is this San Fran? It is San Francisco. You know what? I'm gonna take out some Neo Shadows, because I can. Or apparently not. Obnoxious fights carry a lesson to the player. Nope, couldn't be me.
Well, Sora, I'd say we've been to every world that we can visit.
But we're one short. Where's Kairi's heart?
Gee, I wish I knew.
It's inside you. It's just like last time.
You!
Hmm? All that gallivanting through the sleeping world.
Something along the lines of avoid fighting. Nope, couldn't be me.
Nothing.
What?
Dream by dream. You nearly buried yourself in the dark of sleep, and now you're at it again. The Lich you've been fighting, it's not like other Heartless. It exists to usher hearts down to the depths of darkness.
Oh, so it is a
If you
psychopomp.
chase it, you will condemn your heart to that same abyss.
Yeah, but I destroyed it, so
You're
it's not
wrong.
leading me anymore?
My heart is strong.
What do you think the power of waking is? It's for traversing hearts to reach worlds, not for traversing worlds to reach hearts. There's a high price to pay for wielding such power foolishly.
So what? You're worried about me now?
No. There's no saving you.
Wow.
Huh.
A psychopomp is a
You've paid the
character
price,
in
it
stories
lies
that
at the
shepherds
bottom of the
souls
abyss.
from one world to the next. Grim Reaper is the most common, but you know, various mythological characters have taken on that role.
Sora.
Oh.
Hurry, Sora! The way to the Keyblade Graveyard is open!
So was he sleep in the world of sleep or not?
Of course! That's the one place we haven't checked yet.
Off we go!
Oh, hi, Kyrie. What cutscene number is this? Oh,
Sora,
20.
Kyrie! I found you!
you see? I had no doubts that you'd pull through.
The light in the darkness. It was you. You're the one who kept me from fading away.
All I did was believe that you wouldn't.
And you didn't.
I
Folks saying
feel
Kyrie does
strong
absolutely
with you,
nothing in
Kyrie.
shambles. Okay, fair. But also her weakness is having her wrist grabbed.
The others are ahead. Come on.
He's just saying, never playable segment is this?
I told you, Sora. You're safe with me.
Oh. Yeah. Whoa. Oh.
You okay?
Yeah. Thanks, Kyrie. Oh. It did work.
What worked, Sora? It's a Christmas miracle.
Point us back at those guys.
Oh no, you guys also died and experienced that. It wasn't time travel. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's a much cooler title card than the one where they make it out of the... They make the letters out of different keyblades.
Let's go after them.
We've got to go too!
Kind of seems like a good place to save. They died so good the first time. Why not try again? I think they're trying not to this time, actually.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Use Ariel on this boss. Shred the HP bar. Oh well, if I die, if I don't beat it on the first try,
Ven!
Terra, we found you!
Terra, please say you're in there.
What gives, Aqua?
I know that you're not him.
So they know they died and came back, but
Now
they don't
let
remember
our friend
this?
Go.
He is their 13th.
Memories weird like that.
Today is the day
Yeah, and
you
I guess
all lose.
dying and coming back to life might do that.
What?
But
Before you even face the 13, every last one of you will be torn heart from body. But fear not. The Keyblade will still be forged.
We're not gonna lose to you.
why does Lingering Will show up this time and not last time?
Got you, Xehanort.
Terra?
This is impossible. How I've waited for this moment.
Right, because Nominee. You're right. Okay, that was the connection. I didn't put that together. Also, Keyblades should not behave like that. It's deeply unsettling.
Terra!
No, Ven!
But...
Them first.
That was a demon tower last time. My key never goes noodly. No. No.
We'll hold off the others.
Okay, we've got this.
This song has great drum tracks. I can barely hear it because these headphones don't have the biggest bass, but that's okay. I fight this boss for the 119th time. It does feel that way, except it's actually only like the 4th. Only way this boss replaces Q's noodles. That's why I couldn't get into my office. Ow, stop it, stop it, stop it! Quit stun locking me! Cheater.
It's over. So long. Try this.
Well, okay, but Darkseid, you fight a disproportionately large number of them in 0.2, so, like, I feel like that's a statistical outlier as a boss. Plus, I'd rather fight a Darkseid than this, to be honest. Darkseid looks cool. You can see the squares go past the video squares. Oh, it is a lot of health bars. If I had a quick way to turn off my camera, maybe I could show you, but I have not developed such technology, and by develop such technology, I mean put a button on my Stream Deck. Oh, it's all dark and spooky. Nah, I didn't get a great hit there. The Kingdom Hearts three fights feel very cinematic, and there's like always something changing, dynamic, and being interesting. I like it. You know, you get like Flare Force and your Keyblade transformations and things going, and sir, where I cannot hurt you right now, sir. JM, do you know how much a single health bar represents in this game? Or in Kingdom Hearts in general? Is it like 100? That's one of the things you just like 3 compared to 2. There's too much. I can see that. That's entirely valid. I think it's fun, but I like haha shiny. Need for enemies? Don't know number values. That's okay. I figured if someone in chat knew, it would probably be you, but because I've always wondered that, because I know it's like obviously, you know, 1 has the different colors, and then 2 onward, it's the multiple squares. But it's like, how much is a square? Like, am I doing 5 damage or am I doing 500 right now? I don't know. I know I do that much.
Come on! Something's wrong!
You take care, Beer Fox. Hope you have a good meeting.
What now?
Meetings are forbidden.
Stop it!
I don't think so. Meetings are forever. I hope not. Esmer, I think is his name. Anyway, he's a character from the mobile game Union Cross.
Need some help?
Oh, this moment was insanely hyped the first time. I still love it, but it was so hype, and I was someone who had played. Look at all those chicken keyblades. Is your name? No. No, I did not play nearly enough, and I think I even started playing after that competition had ended.
What is this?
That's the basic Keyblade you get in the mobile game, by the way. Yeah.
All right.
The 5 there's 5 clans. But you see people's names. Those are actual usernames from the mobile game. And the symbol next to it is which clan they were part of. There's unicorn, leopard, bear, snake, and tiger? No, fox. And you had to do something to get your name in there. You had to be like of a certain rank. It's really cool. It is a great thank you, and it's pretty a cinematically awesome moment. Woo! I was like, I'm taking a lot of damage. I don't remember that. Oh, right. I can move. I just saw a name go by that was just Nugget. Shout out to Nugget. Union Cross. Level 1 crit. Oh man, that would be so hard. Because you do just, like, especially at the end there, you just have to take some damage. This is like Gilgamesh and Fate. Yes. You learn Kiraga.
Sora!
Haha,
okay?
run meeting.
Yeah. What was that?
Keyblade wielders. From long ago.
It's the light of the past.
Huh? Look.
Just send out the big bad.
It's Riku replica, but not the good Riku replica. It's the bad Riku replica.
You!
I guess the Keyblade wielders did teach me Kiraga.
One Xehanort got to in the past and has influence over. So, that must be you from when Ansem had control of your heart.
Yeah. How could I forget?
I'd say that was our finest hour.
Wrong. My hour of weakness.
A cast of
You
thousands of only
sure?
4 characters.
How about we find out?
Oh, hi, spooky darkness thing.
A real test for the mark of mastery. What did you say?
We gotta make sure you're not blundering your way toward a second failure.
Blundering? I'll have you know we failed with style, Chief.
That's a
At
mood.
least you admit it. Well, if you Guardians think you brought the goods, you'll have to prove it to the old guy one last time. Kid, take it away.
You think Xehanort wouldn't send his dudes one at a time? I mean, he technically doesn't.
This again?
I don't think that's a very effective way of holding a sword.
This isn't good.
Form up now.
Huh?
Mickey, you can't lose hope. We already went through this. Thank you.
If you try to use time magic against these numbers, you won't have enough strength for the final battle.
Axel is doing like all the real work here. Everyone else is just huddling together, and he's out there actually fighting Heartless.
I'll
Okay,
try
Aqua
and
is
break
doing
through.
some too.
Everyone, get ready.
Alone? That's crazy. I'll help.
Two is no better.
Yeah, splitting up's a bad idea.
There's way too many!
You cast Zeta Flare. Dance battle.
Master Yansid!
Why didn't you teach us this?
My young
Why didn't you teach
champion.
us Moses' light spell?
I will hold them all here for as long as I can.
We're not gonna leave you behind.
You guys go on! Me and Donald will stay here. The two of us will back up Master Yansid.
Donald. Goofy.
You are all bad by yourselves, Sora.
Don't worry, we'll catch up with you in just a bit.
Okay.
We'll regroup later.
Make haste.
Yes, he had said backwards is Disney. And Ericus is an anagram of square. Starlight! That's what that Keyblade is called. Is it good? I don't really remember. The problem is, at this point, to make a Keyblade good, you have to level it up to make it equal to the Keyblades I already have. Also, Time for aurora farming. I mean, the black cloaks do really help.
Today, we join these other wielders and leave our mark on fate. I have waited patiently, but together, we shall unlock.
Well, they coordinate easily because they all have the same mind. Or at least the same heart.
Hmm? Now we forge it. The ultimate key. The Keyblade.
Don't you think that name's a little on the nose? Wait until you see the Keyblade. Then you'll be like, yeah, no, it's a little too on the nose. Oh, you've seen it? Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Writers left placeholder text and then forgot.
Yeah.
Scissors like Kill la Kill. I don't really read anime.
I'd better get ready.
To customize my shortcuts. Up to Kiraga. Recover 3 MP with each successful block. Who blocks? Do you also watch your anime? Or watch your manga, I should say. I'm gonna give him a couple potions. It's just in case, kind of thing. The Wheel of Fate is turning. Ready, Rebel 1. Do I like Opera? I do like Opera. Are you going to suggest a web browser? So I remember when that was the web browser built on the Wii. Ah, I need some more crystals. Oh, just another media that requires subtitles. I mean, yeah. I need one more Damascus there. Or I need adamantite. Ugh. You finally realized Carmen was in German. I mean, better late than never. To be fair, when opera is being sung, it is even like I've heard English opera and I'm like, I don't know what they're saying. I forget who is where, so we'll go left first.
Oh, I guess I need to get through the door before it closes.
I love Turandot. That's a great opera. It's like ballet, but noisier.
Riku!
Sora!
You want to go after first? Apparently, Riku here. Because I was reading chat when the thing was happening, and I was like, wait, who am I saving? You go through the doors when they're open? Oh, I don't leave my house. I'm doing it all wrong. Yes, that's why you don't leave your house. I kid.
Wait! Ansem! Where are you going?
Riku!
Hey, let's speed it up. Keep the line moving.
Yeah, 13th Dilemma. But there is actually a variation of 13th Dilemma for each member of the organization. Of the real organization.
Think fast.
The soundtrack for 3 is quite large. Like, I thought I activated Storm Flag. That's why I looked at chat.
You better run.
Sora. Move. Thank you. You had a nyap. Hey, you had a good nyap. No. Just try and focus on one. One at a time is better.
Think fast.
No, I do not. Chips and salsa? Wow. Someone's showing off. I want chips and more salsa. Actually, I was living the high life earlier today. I had Necco wafers. I love Necco wafers.
Think fast.
Necco wafers.
But why?
Thanks for reminding me that I need to cheese sauce for your nachos. How could you forget Cat, no! Necco. How could you forget the cheese sauce?
You're not real. Huh? I'm the real one.
No, bro, you're objectively
Aren't
not.
you my past self? From when Ansem possessed me? No. You beat Ansem and you're still here. This guy is me.
But you're the spirit of a robot. That was meant to... half a pork.
I knew it. It's a replica. A soon-to-be empty vessel. I've been waiting for a chance like this.
Metaphysics, where'd you go? Yeah, at a time like this.
Hey! What are you doing? Take the vessel!
No. The world already has you. There's someone else who needs the replica more. You know who I mean. Oh. Namine, you're saving her.
The game would not change if this character was written out of it.
Good luck.
My hot take. And yet the character is written. All right, Lucio.
Make it interesting. Start dancing. There. Heads up. Go.
Ow. He's so close. Uh-oh. Inkay's redeemed a candy spin. We'll get to that as soon as we're done with this fight. And its associated cutscene. Also, Gale, I'm pretty sure that we've reached the 25 plus limit for
This is your power.
Kingdom Hearts 4, the Simpson verse. Oh no. We have, yeah. You can pay out then, I guess, if you haven't already. Oh, does it go up to 35 plus? Oh, okay.
Figures. If I had a Keyblade, it'd be different.
Like you're actually worthy to use one?
Oh. I am worthy.
What do you mean?
The old coot promised to bequeath me his. Why else do you think I would ever put up with all his nonsense?
It'd be wasted on you.
As if.
These kids talk a lot of smack. Well, they also deliver it, so. Goodbye, but not forever, Lucio. I mean, Zigbar. As if seems. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty in character for Zigbar. This game taught you how to be a good person. Well, that's good, because Sora's pretty kind-hearted and upright. How you doing, Peter?
Is that a replica for Naminé?
It is now.
Yeah. Wish we
Oh
could
yeah,
help
he
her
fell.
now.
There's no way he had
But
any
first-
magical teleportation powers
I know.
that we ever saw
I'm going after
used the last
Ansem.
5 seconds.
Okay. I'll go help the others.
Okay, we owe a candy spin to Inca. Wheel of candy, spin, spin, spin. What am I supposed to suffer now? It's not cardamom. It just looks like a dog treat. Swinkle chunks. This is what is on the packages. Swinkle's chunks. There's a duck. Is it cardadad? I don't know what cardadad is. Mango flavored hot candy with tamarind flavored filling. It is none of those things. And it's stale. And it's just, it has this texture. It feels like, it tastes like friendship? No. It has a texture. It feels like a dog treat in your hand. It feels like one in your mouth. Is all. Tastes like stale friendship. I think you need to talk to your friend if you have stale friendship. And then the inside is just like sharp. Like literally like physically sharp. Swinkle's Chunks sounds like a medication. For a dog.
Your Majesty!
Sora!
And now it's stuck between my teeth. Oh boy, that trio is pertinently part of Organization 13. Yeah, wait. You all were part of the bench list, weren't you? You got Invisalign. He's hanging out on the battlefield. He's helping us. I mean, right now, wouldn't fight be proper? Can you go 3 days without spending money, or do you need to fill up your gas tank before payday? In this economy? He is king in a biker jacket. You know, King Charles would be a lot cooler if he had a biker jacket.
Xemnas!
Exactly what I needed.
More power of darkness.
Sora, look out!
Sora, look out! He's trying to get you to buy into PSA grading! It's a scam! A scam, I tell you! Oh no! He's grading me! He's only giving me that! Oh no, we have to play Chain of Memories. I've already done that. Actually, I just recently bought the original Chain of Memories because I've only ever played Re.
Final game. The rules are simple. All you have to do to win is find me among these cards and strike me down.
Oh, it's that simple. But also you have a hit bar, so it's not just like a one-hit thing.
Don't worry. I'll get you out.
They are pretty cool looking playing cards. I think they might actually be...
Live dangerous.
I think it is something they sold once.
The game continues bad.
Ooh, Squiggly.
Over here.
No, I hate this fight because the auto-targeting just really kind of messes you up.
Choose wisely.
He's not a one-hit wonder? No.
Choose wisely.
Make me. Ow, ow.
Watch closely. Shuffle.
No, we found him.
Over here. Impressive.
Auto-targeting? Drawn out of the darkness.
It's more fun when
Hey,
you
Otto.
beat the odds. Live dangerously, Sora.
You should have trusted in the spleen of the cards, not the heart of the cards.
Born for these sorts of games.
Why does everything you say sound like an advertising slogan? Because that's... He needs to...
What's this?
A wild card. You've earned it.
He needs to get
Hang
people
on
to his
to it.
casino. How else is he going to make a living after this?
Could turn the tables.
Play again someday. When we're just guys.
I should like that very much, Sora.
Okay, dude's been de-nobodied twice now. You think he'd learn his lesson?
Thanks.
See ya.
Stop playing.
Yeah.
I'm going to take out Marluxia first because I have done the most damage to Marluxia already.
What's the matter? See ya.
It's time to finish him.
This is for you.
Heal.
What?
There.
Bye, Luxord. See you in Yuzora World, maybe. Probably not. Because that requires to ever see Kingdom Hearts 4. Also, given that Luxord is one of the ancient Keyblade wielders, oops, spoilers. Wouldn't it make sense for him to come from a different world? Like, Yzura's is more modern and stuff, but... Like, the original Keyblade wielders come from the world of one. Giving your audience, you don't have to worry about spoilers. I know, probably not, but I like making the joke. Especially when I say things in the very obvious manner and they go, oops, spoilers. I don't know, I find it funny. Mega spoilers for a game that's 7 years old. Kingdom Hearts 3 is 7 years old. Let that sink in. The more you learn about Kingdom Hearts, the less you understand. That's valid.
Oh.
That's just all part of the journey.
It all comes back to me.
Hi, is Father Evan spoiling us? Because I love you.
Hey, is that a real laugh?
Yes. My heart is remembering how to feel.
Really? That's good.
And now I am on the cusp of reclaiming my identity, my purpose for being. Thanks to you, Sora.
Sora literally just smacked sense into him.
It's time for you to go.
Go where?
What's the matter? What's the matter?
I can't hit you because you won't stand still? Oh, she can go beyond the boundary of the arena, but I can't. That is cheating. Smack sense into people. Yeah, you should try that more on Goth. Choose your desperation move. Yeah, but I'm pretty desperate too. The perfect size for tracing. Mason jar. Let us play sticker. Hey, let's go. Larxene can be one of the hardest, especially like her data fights, in my opinion. But the few times I've attempted them.
Are you kidding?
But even in main, like Recom and 2, like I find her. No, she's not in 2. Where else do you fight her?
You're gonna be recompleted.
I didn't ask you for your garbage opinion. I lost to a bunch of losers like you. But could be worse. Become that geezer's heart tank? No thanks.
Then why help him?
Got nothing better
I
to do.
was really just along for the ride.
See?
With...
My secret.
She's in it for the love of the game.
Sora, I'll go after Xemnas while you go find the others.
She has a crush on the game?
The sun's going down.
Kingdom Hearts is a dating sim? Has been this whole time.
So these panels in the floor are switches for the doors.
Okay. Can I get back to the save point? Do they allow a save point in the middle of this? I thought they did. No save, only persist. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Huh. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Slidey wall puzzles, everyone's favorite. You haven't saved yet? There's one saved, always saved. Uh-oh. Does the P in P-Tony stand for Protestant?
Yeah.
You're very ornery today? Wow. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. Deep breaths, Peter. Battle gates? No. It's okay. You know what? I have a ton of money. I'll buy these. Because this is the one Goofy's currently working. Well, he's working with the Plus version, but still. Are you going to fight the secret boss? No, I'm probably just going to do the basic remind stuff, not like all the secret bosses. Wherever it is rich. Rich in spirit and in game. Base game secret boss is doable? Yeah. But attention span. I'm talking mine. We're going to call it there. We're going to call it a little early because if I continue down that way, I have to start doing more fights. Just in case. I was like, did I? Rich in digital code. Oh, so you're rich in spirit too. Foul outcome 31. 31 goes to Historical Mustache and Kit. Congratulations. Congratulations. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Let's Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Join us again tomorrow as we're playing Timothy and Titus again. I think that game has some flaws, but I think it's also a lot of fun, honestly. So we're going to keep checking that out. I think we're probably going to finish it tomorrow, just given how long it is. And Wednesday is Minecraft, of course. Thursday, Aria of Sorrow. I cannot remember that we are playing Aria of Sorrow for some reason. And not this Friday, but next Friday, I'll be on Game of Favorites with P-Tony. So that'll be a lot of fun. So look forward to that. I think that's everything. So thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, gifted subs, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you tomorrow. And let's see who's live that we can raid into. Gonna throw you on over to Canadian Mountie. He does this thing at the end of every month where he will do a 24-hour stream. And today is that day. So we're gonna go support him. He's a fun dude, Christian streamer. Go give him some love. He's a madman. Yes, the fact that he does that monthly is wild to me. I did a 12-hour stream and thought that was too long. But anyway, raid call is Father Raid. Spam any of the emotes that you got. And again, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. God bless.